more light. And you're right, we're looking at the object, but it's the light reflecting off the object. Yep. And so the more light that we can get in, then the more detail we can see about the object, which is why we want big lenses most of the time.
NASA started trying to call it the Webb Telescope now. James Webb was the second administrator of NASA and the person that really was responsible for doubling the budget of NASA as he was going from NASA Goddard to Congress. And that's what allowed actually NASA to do research instead of just being a bureaucratic institution. Light we observe in very different wavelengths. So light has this fixed constant speed, 300,000 meters per second is the fastest thing that moves, but it comes in different shapes and forms, right? So the different wavelengths of light from the longest here per scale of buildings or bigger, you know, and the scales of subatomic particles and smaller. So there's actually no limit to how big or small light wavelengths can be. So to the right, and then it's separated by intensity, by the brightness of the sources. The brighter stars on top, dimmer stars in the bottom, and they have these N and NGC numbers, dioxide, you know, elements and the molecules.
We're hoping not to be parallel, but you're just gonna hold it like this in very small, tiny movements. Not very strong, so you're probably not going to reach the edge of this. And then how you're going to start is you're just going to press the trigger whenever you're going, except for you, because you're going to press this button.
Okay.
It's blue, the yellow.
So just cut it across here and there. And then take your pencil. So look at the picture. And find the center of the picture, and you're going to make a little teeny tiny hole, whatever you think is the center of the picture. You're going to want to open it up all the way because you don't want to poke a hole through both sides. You want to open it up all the way. This is the top of the paper, right? This is the top of the picture. Make sure that stays on the top. Cross. Go ahead and fold it in half.
Okay.
Everybody got to fold it in half?
Yep.
Now, does everybody have a pencil?
Yes.
Take your pencil and poke a little bitty hole in what you think is the very center of your picture. You guys have to listen really close. Not because you're going to mess anything up, just because copper tape is tricky. So the main thing about this is when telescopes go up into outer space and they get to travel around like satellites, they get to see really cool stuff that we can't see. They get to see really awesome pictures. Like, if I could see that with my naked eye looking up in the sky, I'd be like, that is pretty awesome, right? That'd be pretty cool. We can't see it. So now the James Webb Telescope's going to go up, and who knows what they're going to see. Maybe some more cool stuff.
Very cool.
Very cool stuff, I know. I'm pretty excited.
She's in long.
It is. Along with that, see this right here? That is copper tape. Do you guys know what circuits are?
Yeah. Yes.
So if you're running electricity in your house, you have to have a completed circuit or you don't have the lights on, right?
Yeah.
You are going to light up this star using a battery and copper tape and a light bulb. Take the top of the, open it up all the way. Take the top of the picture and make sure you're looking at the back side, but the top is still the top. Your hole should be on your left-hand side. Go ahead and put it on the table. Now, you're gonna start with a little strip of tape, of that copper tape. Just eyeball it from close to the bottom up to even with that hole. Just a couple inches.
So do I just place it?
You're gonna start on the left-hand side.
Excuse me.
Then I got the video from NASA on how to make this.
Oh no.
The lady who was making it in the video didn't make this long enough. So you know what she did? She cut a little bit more, made it a little longer. So if it's a little short, you just cut a little more, make it a little longer. Once you get that first strip, you're gonna do your second strip from the top of the first over almost to the hole, but not quite. You don't want to cover that hole up. That's where the light bulb goes. You don't want to cover the hole up because the light bulb can't go in there. The first strip of tape done. Who's got the second strip of tape done? Okay, second strip of tape comes from the top and it goes over almost to the hole. Don't cover up the hole because the light bulb won't have a place to go. All the way this way to the hole and just go around in this circle. This is what it will look like when you're finished.
How do you turn it on and off?
The battery. Let's let everybody get caught up now with the battery and the light bulbs.
Is it like based on solar panel or?
It's based on a battery. Just a battery. So when you look at these little light bulbs, hold them up. You can see that one of the stems, the little wires, one is longer than the other. The short is negative.
Do I do it this way? Wait, do you have to bend it or something?
You will. Let me tell you something though, because if you put the battery and the leads in the wrong direction, it won't work. So the short,
You already put your bulb in? You did? You did? No, not really.
the short,
I'm just gonna have to get another one.
okay, we got you covered, man. The short one is negative. Now the battery
Is that good?
has a negative and a positive side. If you take the short side, the negative lead, and touch it to the negative side, your light bulb lights up. These little teeny tiny bulbs are super bright. That's amazing thing. So that means you have to make sure you put it on here the right way. So if you put the positive side of the battery down on this side, this is the, if you put the positive side of the battery touching this, the positive is going to run around this way. So you got to put the positive on here. And then it's going to fold over and light it. So go ahead and stick your light bulb in. Once you get the light through, you're going to make sure that you have it the right direction or the light won't light up. Once you know that you have the circuits completed, you want to take those down. You're going to want to poke it through. Light bulb.
You're going to drop that side into this hole.
All right, guys, so we're back in the community in Springfield, and we just finished a fun NASA activity. And I want to make sure people know about this. Calvin, Mr. Diller, if you don't mind, a future astronaut. Can you explain? He's going to be, and I'm going to be the first one. Let the record show that I was the first one here with him. Calvin, if you don't mind, what is Gateway, and how can more kids get involved?
Okay, so Gateway is a STEM organization, or it's not a STEM organization, but it's a STEM center here in Springfield, Tennessee. And our goal is to get more kids interested, not necessarily in STEM, but just show that there is more than farming and basic industry.
Awesome. What got you motivated into STEM and becoming an astronaut in space?
Okay, so part of it was my dad. He was really interested in it as a kid. I remember watching a movie called Space Camp. It's a really old movie. But I just loved that movie. And then there was a book at my school, and it talked all about how like future space missions were going to happen. I thought that was cool. And then I was fortunate enough to be able to go to space camp.
How was that experience? Space camp. I didn't even hear about it until I came here today. How was space camp?
Space camp. So it's in Huntsville, Alabama. But space camp. That was a lot more fun. much better funded than this, just because it's been around for significantly longer. My dad went to it as a kid.
I see.
So it's been around for much longer, much more famous. But there you had it was an overnight trip.
I see.
You were there for 5 days, 4 nights. So what you would do there is you would have a mission, Mars or Leo, which is a moon mission.
Gotcha.
And so I was on the Mars mission for my space team. And so you would practice that, and then you would do some other stuff like multi-axis trainer. You would have a chair that would simulate gravity on the moon and Mars.
Wow.
If you've ever been to the Adventure Science Center in Nashville, think that.
Adventure Science Center. So if you guys have not had a chance to get an idea of what it looks like, stop by there, and you can kind of get an idea of what Space Camp might end up looking like. To some degree.
No, that's just one part. And then they also have they're not a full flight deck simulator like we have here, but they have a space shuttle simulator. But I really enjoyed the space camp.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So what we're going to do is we're going to make sure we post Gateway, and I want to say it's gatewaystemcenter.org, or if you want, try.com. And Mr. Robert Dillard is the director here, along with his wife, Miss Dillard, and young Calvin here is also doing a great job supporting. Did a great job with the simulator classes.
Thank you.
And he's on his way to becoming an astronaut. So you guys make sure you guys follow, like, and donate, and connect with Mr. Robert Dillard. Let's continue to grow the future.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
It's blue. If you look on the sticker, it will say Zvezda right there, which was one of the first International Space Station modules. It was one of the modules made by the Russians. And those stickers, they flew up inside of Zvezda. And then on a later shuttle mission, the astronauts went in and took the stickers outside of Zvezda and then brought them back to Earth in the space shuttle. So those have been into space on a Russian rocket and came back on the space shuttle, and they were inside the space station.
Wow.
So for me, the motivation to get the word out is really for these guys. It's to show them what's possible and to show them just the world of possibilities that are out there, and to ignite a passion for STEM or for whatever they may be interested in doing, but to give them both exposure and an opportunity to explore on their own and to grow.
Awesome. We'll definitely see you at the next activity. Thank you so much, and we'll get the word out.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.